Hello, scholars. My name is Dr. Mustapha Alhassan. A faculty here at Clark Atlanta University, the School of Social Work. I'm also the director of the BSW program, that's the Undergraduate Social Work Program. So I've been at CAU for the past 11 years. So this is my 12th year. I'm an accomplished, researcher and professor. I've mentored students for the past 11 years who have always participated in the CAU undergraduate symposium. Research is my passion. I teach our research methods classes, mostly for our juniors and then our seniors. And in terms of my teaching, my research mainly focuses on health disparities. I've done some work on prostate cancer and how it impacts African Americans. So, and I've also done some work on human trafficking, especially service provision as it relates to human trafficking victims. So that's also another area of my research. And then I've done some work on educational development as it impacts high school students in Ghana. And then just recently, I've done an amazing work on data science, especially how data science can be used in social work practice. So for the past 2 years, I have mentored students on various research projects that focuses on the relationship between data science and social work practice. And, I just received a grant that would allow me to develop some course modules that can be implemented in our social work courses so that our undergraduate social work students can have the opportunity to be able to learn data science and then some of the tools that are used in data science. So, right, so my presentation will focus on what is research, importance of planning and strategies to be successful. Now, I'll start off my presentation with the definition of research. So by definition, research is any project that involves a systematic investigation with the intent to develop or contribute to generalizable knowledge. So just a careful look at this definition, let's just look at some of the key terms. So for example, a research is a project, right? So a project is something that one is passionate about. So, and then the word systematic investigation. So it means research entails, planning, careful planning. So that's why use of the term systematic investigation. So, and then, the intent to develop or contribute to generalizable knowledge. So what it means is that, if you are conducting a research, it's, should at least contribute to some form of knowledge. So that's, the overall intent of what research. And the research involves data collection or collecting, analyzing, and then interpreting data. Now let's look at the purpose of research. So research can be done to either generate new knowledge or to solve specific problems. Now, in terms of generating new knowledge, it may be an area where little is known, an area that probably has not been researched into. For example, AI, artificial intelligence. AI is fairly new, and there's interest in it from industry, from academia, from students, from staff, from everyone. So we still do not know a lot. We don't really have enough research or enough information about AI, especially the impact of AI on students' learning. So if you are conducting a research into how AI impacts on students' academic learning, your research can contribute or generate new knowledge, because this is an area that has not been researched into. So that's a new area that has not been developed. Or research can also be done to solve specific problems like crime rate. So you can do research, for example, maybe to highlight on the crime trends in specific zip codes, or counties, and then propose solution to addressing the crime in those counties. Or you can do research to look at health disparity issues and how it impacts on specific groups, and then propose solutions. So those are examples of research done that can be done to solve specific problems. Let's look at the importance of research for undergraduate students. So the first point is research obviously enhances learning for undergraduate students. So research deepens understanding of the subject matter. So if an undergraduate student conduct research on a particular topic, for example, AI and how it impacts on students' learning, obviously it will help deepen the students' understanding of AI, because the student would have to develop a research question around that topic. The student will also have to develop the problem statement. The student will have to do an extensive work or in-depth literature review. So by doing that, it will definitely help the student to understand the subject matter better. It also develops critical thinking and analytic skills for the student. Because research is also defined as systematic investigation. So the student taking part in developing the topic, taking part in developing the problem statement, and then doing a literature review. All involves what? Critical thinking and analysis. Now, another area to look at is career preparation. Of course, when undergraduate students engage in research, obviously it helps them, to become better prepared, to pursue their future careers. So specifically, research provides students with a hands-on experience. So students will have the opportunity to do some form of data analysis, using data obtained from real life. Research gives them the opportunity. So if, I'm working on a research project, for example, on prostate cancer, and how it impacts on African Americans. And then I collect real life data, and then I'm mentoring undergraduate students in that same project. So that project will give the students the opportunity, to be able to analyze that real life data related to prostate cancer disparities. through research, students will also be able to be introduced to, the various software, especially SPSS. I use SPSS a lot in my research project. So students will get the opportunity, to obtain skills related on how to use SPSS. I also teach students how to use R and R Studio, and all these are data science tools. So they will develop skills, the knowledge and skills related to how to use these software, which will make them marketable in the future. So research also helps students in determining their career paths. So that's also another benefits of research when undergraduate students engage in research. So they will be able to determine which direction to go. So let me just give an example. I mentored a student just this spring 2024. So the student was in my research methods class. So she developed a project on the impact of social media on the academic performance of students. And then she presented that project at the CAU symposium in March this year. So, and she was so elated, so satisfied with her performance on that particular research project, and then getting the opportunity to present that project at the symposium. And then she reached out to me, informed me that, initially she, didn't know she could do so well in research. But having gone through this experience, working on the project, getting it presented at the symposium, so it helped her to now, know that she would like to, where she wants to go in terms of her career. So she wants to pursue research. So she was looking for research opportunities, especially in data science in the summer. So, and she wants to take that a step further. So what it means is that so she's currently pursuing her graduate degree in social work, her master's in social work. And that will give her the opportunity to continue to do research. So research has the potential to help students to be able to determine their career path. So as a social work student, she has seen an opportunity in, being able to advance a career in not just social work, but also in data science as well, because of the opportunities that I gave her, as her faculty mentor. Of course, there's no research without challenges. So I would just like to mention that even though there are so many benefits associated with research, especially research involving undergraduate students, but then again, there are also few challenges that I would like to highlight or mention. And, it doesn't mean that with these challenges, those challenges cannot be overcome. So one of the challenges is sometimes it may be hard for a student who may be interested in a particular research topic. The research topic may be too broad, or a student who may have an interest in a particular or specific research area, the topic may just be way too broad. So, but what I would say is that it's fine. It's okay to identify a particular area. It may be too broad, and if it is too broad, it's fine. You can always work with a faculty mentor to narrow down the topic to a specific area of interest. Another challenge that may be associated with undergraduate student pursuing research is it may also be difficult to find a faculty mentor. So, we have so many faculty that do research, and in most instances, students find it very difficult to approach them, So my suggestion is always to, first of all, identify your research area, your research interest. If it is too broad, that's okay. Then the next step to see if you can align that research interest with the faculty who does research in that area, So that's usually the next step. And then afterwards, then, it's always okay to kind of reach out, send an email to the faculty, requesting for probably maybe just a brief meeting. Can be just 5 minute or 10-minute meeting. And to kind of discuss your possible interests and maybe possible mentorship that the faculty can offer you as a student. So a student might also be interested in a particular research area, but the resources might not be available. So conducting research also involves resources. And so in most instances, one challenge may be that the student might not have the resources to be able to conduct the research. So that's where the faculty mentor, the role of the faculty member is crucial, because faculty, we do research all the time. So we are able to secure resources, to help students to be able to engage in research. Then another challenge might be time commitments. Students have, a million things, 1,000 things going on in their lives. And so in most instances, they may see it as a challenge to kind of use some of that time to pursue research. So these are some of the possible challenges that a student may encounter when it comes to participating in research. But, planning is key to being successful. Careful planning is key. So despite the challenges, if you plan very well and start early, then you can engage in successful undergraduate research. So why is planning crucial? Planning ensures clarity and also focus. So when you plan very well, it will ensure clarity. It will also ensure that you remain consistent and focused. So, and planning may also help allocate resources efficiently. Now let's look at the steps in planning for conducting research by undergraduate students. So of course, in research, usually, you start with your research topic, and the topic may be broad. And as I said before, even if the topic is broad, that's fine. So just have a topic in mind. And you can always work with your faculty mentor or research mentor to kind of narrow down the topic to a specific area or interest. So after you have developed your topic, the next step is usually to, identify or define your research question. So, which is key. And in most instances, once you have your topic identified, you can always develop, even if it's just one research question, you can develop just one research question related to the topic. And you have the flexibility to be able to revise the research question as time goes on, especially as you do the literature review. So then the next step is conducting the literature review. And, today we have different resources that you can use to conduct your literature research or literature review. So the library has online database. So as a student of the AUC, you have access to the Woodruff Library as the online database. So they have journal articles for students in the social sciences, social work students, political science students, sociology and criminal justice students, thousands of peer-reviewed journal articles that you can search for free. They also have, articles for those in the STEM program, mathematics, those in chemistry, those in physics, the natural sciences field. So all these resources are available, and then we also have AI. AI can also help students to do literature searches. AI is not perfect, but students can still use it to do literature search. You just have to be careful, and review that information that you obtain from AI, verify it just to make sure that information is accurate. But AI is, a tool that can be used to conduct literature searches. So the next step is usually to conduct the literature search. And the AUC Woodruff Library have the reference librarians, depending on your field. So if you're a social work student, there's a librarian who can help you conduct literature search. They can help you search for articles related to your topic. If you are a biology student, there is a reference librarian that can help you search for articles related to biology. So, and so on and so forth. So we have all these resources. Then the next step in the planning process is what? Developing a research design. So after you have, developed a key research question, and then you've done a literature review, then the next step is obviously to develop your research design. So that's where the population of interest comes in. It's very, very important. The design, the research design, that's where you address the sample. What will be your population of interest? For example, are you focusing on college students, or are you focusing on the homeless population? Are you focusing on people who have mental health problems? So those are all areas of what? Interest, population of interest. So for example, if I'm interested in mental health, homelessness and mental health, how mental health affects the homeless population. So then my population of interest will be the homeless population. The homeless population that are resident here in Atlanta. So the research design, I will think about how do I reach out to the homeless population here in Atlanta. So do I go to downtown? We have where we have homeless shelters, and where we also have hangouts for the homeless population. So you have to think about even the number of homeless people that I will recruit for my research project. You also have to think about your instruments. Are you going to conduct a survey, or are you going to conduct an interview? So you have to think about the method of data collection. All that falls under the research design. So the research design is crucial. It's a critical element or component of the research process. Now, let's delve into the types of research. So having talked about, the topic, the research question, the literature review, the design, the next step is to look at the types of research. When you look at research, especially undergraduate research, we have about 3 different components or 3 different types. So, and depending on your expertise, depending on your interest. So we have the qualitative research. And, as the name sounds, qualitative, the focus is on what? Words, quality. So it's about understanding concepts. It's about understanding thoughts or experiences of people. So for example, if you're interested in homelessness and mental health, you can do a qualitative research by interviewing the homeless population. So your focus is not on the numbers. Your focus is on what? The experiences of the homeless population. Your focus is on their thoughts. So that's what qualitative research focuses on. Now, quantitative research. So most of what I do, most of my research, it's on quantitative research. It's quantitative in nature. I focus on what? Numbers, quantifying data, and then generalizing it. And so that's why in quantitative research, most of the time the sample size is large. So you can survey thousands of people. If you are interested in understanding how AI impacts on students' learning, you can conduct a survey and send out questionnaires to college students. For example, here in Atlanta, you can send surveys, online surveys to students at CAU. You can send surveys out to students at Spelman. You can send surveys out to students at Morehouse. You can send surveys out to students at Georgia State, Georgia Tech, Emory University. So, that's an example of what? Quantitative research. And then at the end of the day, you can analyze that data and then generalize it. Then the third type of research is the mixed methods. Mixed methods research combines elements of what? Qualitative research and then elements of quantitative research. So there are some researchers that use this approach, focusing on what? Using one method to obtain qualitative data and then using another method to obtain what? Quantitative data. And in most instances, you can compare, the data or the results. So those are the three types of research. Now, qualitative, let's look at the data collection methods. So we have three main types of data collection methods. So we have the qualitative methods. So, and when I was talking about the types of research, so with qualitative research, the focus is on quality, the concepts, right? And behavior and experiences of what? The participants. Now, how do you collect qualitative data? You can do that through, various means. You can do that through interviews. So, and I gave an example of homeless population and mental health. So, for example, my topic is on, if my research topic is on the homeless population and how it impacts on their mental health, I can conduct interviews. I can reach out and identify just few homeless people who also have some form of mental health, and then conduct in-depth interviews, maybe 5 homeless population or 10 homeless people. So, and conduct an in-depth interview. I can also use focus groups to obtain qualitative data. So focus group usually, entails a facilitator, most of the time the researcher, that facilitate a discussion related to the research topic. So, and a focal group usually involves, between 8 to 12 members. And in most instances, the participants, are people who know more about the topic. Then you can also collect focus qualitative data using observations. So that's also another type or method of collecting qualitative data. Now, the second type of or method of data collection is the quantitative method, right? And quantitative data can be collected using surveys. I gave an example of if, surveying college students, just to understand how AI impacts on student learning, academic learning. So you can collect surveys via online platforms. You can use SurveyMonkey. You can use Qualtrics. So these are all online surveys that can be used to collect quantitative data. Experiments, especially those in the natural sciences who do experiments all the time, they also use experiments to collect quantitative data. So, and then statistical analysis, after you have collected your quantitative data, in most instances, you can do statistical analysis. So the third method of data collection is a mixed method, which is a combination of both qualitative and quantitative methods. Now let's look at the next step, which is the how the data is analyzed. So when it comes to qualitative research, the data, it uses about 2 main methods. We have the thematic analysis and the content analysis. So remember, I talked about the fact that when it comes to qualitative research, the focus is on what? Concepts. The focus is on what? Behaviors and experiences. So the data, qualitative data, is analyzed using what? Themes. thematic analysis or content analysis. When it comes to quantitative data, it is analyzed using statistical tests or regression analysis. So we have different types of statistical tests. So then with the mixed method, it's a combination of both qualitative and quantitative methods. Now, you can't conduct undergraduate research without talking about research ethics and responsible conduct of research. So research ethics is defined as a set of moral principles that guide the conduct of research to ensure it is performed responsibly, safely, and with integrity. And so it's always important for student researchers to abide by the ethics. So making sure that the research is conducted responsibly, safely, and with integrity, ensuring that the rights of participants are respected. That's why we have institutional review board in place, especially if you are conducting research on human subjects. If you are going to conduct a survey, or if you are going to interview participants as part of your research project, your study must go through a review process, and that's what is called the institutional review board. Just to ensure that your research is conducted with what? Integrity, and it's also conducted with respect to the rights of what? Participants. I have some few recommendations for students interested in undergraduate research. So let me start with my colleagues, faculty mentors. So, I'm suggesting that the faculty mentors should incorporate the CAU symposium into their syllabus so that students can be able to participate in the symposium. So what I do for the past 11 years, so I incorporated the symposium in my research methods class. So at the beginning of the semester, I always inform my students that, the projects that you are working on, at the end of the day, will qualify for submission to the CAU undergraduate symposium. So I always work with them, to work on their research projects, develop their research projects, from the proposal stage to the IRB process, to the data analysis, and then presentation, And so once the project is ready, then I work with them to submit it to the CURC, Center for Undergraduate Research, so that they can participate in the CAU symposium. So I have mentored more than 40 students since 2016. 2016 was the first time the undergraduate research was implemented. Another recommendation is to identify your research interests as an undergraduate student. So for example, are you interested in health disparities? Or are you interested in mental health? Are you interested in technology and AI use? So just identify a possible research interest. And so once you have identified your research interest, then the next step is to identify a faculty mentor. It's key. There may be a challenge in reaching out to a mentor, but take that steps. Once you identify your research interest, just identify a faculty whose interest aligns with, or whose research aligns with what? Your interests, and then request to probably maybe have a brief meeting with the faculty to discuss your interest. So, and then participate in the CAU undergraduate symposium. So, and graduate symposium that is organized in spring every year, because that will give you an exposure. So you get to know how research is conducted, and then also participate in the AUC Data Science Initiative Virtual Student Data Science Symposium. The AUC Data Science Initiative have various opportunities for students to participate in research, especially research related to data science. So, and it provides stipends to students, especially in the summer. So they have the pre-freshman program, and I've served as a mentor for the pre-freshman program for the past 2 years. you can apply to serve as a research mentor to pre-freshmen, and then you receive, a stipend for that. So, and you can also participate in professional conferences. So that also gives you an opportunity to engage in undergraduate research. So, for example, we have the Black Doctoral Network Conference that is organized in October every year. And they do have undergraduate poster competition for, students can participate in that. So those of you that are in social work, you can also take part in the BPD conference, which is geared towards undergraduate education and research. We also have the CSWE conference. And I believe even if you are not a social work student, you can participate in professional conferences related to your discipline. If you are in sociology, they do have their national conferences that you can participate in. If you are in political science, they do have their national conferences that you can participate in. If you are in biology, they do have their national conference that you can take part in. So all these organizations do have sessions for what? Undergraduate students that you can participate in. Another way to engage in undergraduate research is to join clubs that promote undergraduate research. So, for example, the Center for Undergraduate Research and Creativity has a club. You can join that club. That will give you exposure. So you can also join the AUC Data Science Club, championed by the AUC Data Science Initiative. So they have various programs and activities for students. Here are my final thoughts. Effective research requires careful planning and strategic execution. So as the world evolves, more research is required to advance knowledge and innovation in all fields. So it implies that students might be prepared for today's knowledge-driven world. So research is crucial. As the world evolves, now we have AI, so we need more research than related to AI, to see how AI can be used to enhance what? Students' learning. So how can AI be used to enhance or increase even productivity in academia? These are examples of undergraduate research projects that I have mentored over the years. So, this project was done by one of my students, Kyle Roberts. So on the topic financial aid and its impact on college students' academic achievement and success. So she presented it at a symposium in 2022. So, and then she graduated from the social work program with a bachelor's degree in social work, and then went to Columbia University, and then graduated with a master's degree in social work. So she's now a social worker. And then this a second project, Kamisia Jackson was one of my undergraduate students. She also graduated in 2021. So her topic, it's on internet addiction and academic performance of college students. So I mentored her in my research methods class. So she started this project in the spring semester 2020, and then finished it up by fall 2020. And then she submitted and presented at the spring 2021 undergraduate symposium. And then this summer, I mentored 5 students. That's the pre-freshman data science program. 5 students from different HBCUs. I served as their mentor. And then they did secondary data analysis. So I obtained the data from the CDC website, data related, that's the National Youth Tobacco Survey, 2022 data. So I downloaded the data, mentored the students, and then they analyzed that data using R and R Studio, and then did a successful presentation at the AUC Data Science Symposium. And just this summer, July, so 5 students. So, and as we have continued to mentor students on data science every summer. These are my responses. Thank you.